Let's start. Today, we invite you to experience reflexivity through the wisdom of the body with our guest Felicia Lauw from Singapore. We're very honored to have you, Felicia, with us today.
Well, yes, I'd like to introduce Catherine, with whom I've been running this program, and with the support of Nicola, wonderful Nicola. So we've been running this for a year now, because we started in January last year. So happy birthday to us. And Catherine is really co-leader of the project. Actually, she had this idea, and when we were assessing files, for the EIA, and that's how we started. She's a master practitioner. She's an ESIA supervisor. Sorry, I'm getting confused with all these jargon. And she's been volunteering with the EMCC for a long time in France and globally. She's based in the north of France, and I guess it's very cold here today. For me, it's -6 where I am, and I'm sure it's really cold for her as well. She likes walking. She's a walking coach and supervisor, individually and with groups. She likes the nature, and she likes tiny houses, amongst other things.
Okay.
And I think she's a very generous person, and I'm really delighted to be here with her today.
I'm going to introduce Anne. Anne lives in Burgundy in France. Her practice is mainly focused on executive coaching, supervision, and also training as a co-leader of the CSA Supervisor training program in France. And she works with France and different other countries in the world. She previously worked 5 years in England, in London, and also worked in Singapore, I think.
Yeah,
Did you?
for 6 months.
Yeah,
correct.
And she's passionate about Gestalt, leadership embodiment, and resilience through movement. That's Anne. And our partner, our conscious partner, Nicola. What can we say about Nicola? Nicola is a mentor, coach, EMCC Global Communication expert, and she practices as an executive coach in United Kingdom, and is director of communication at NB Things. She's our precious partner, as I said, at EMCC Global for organizing, and communicating about our main events. Thank you, Nicola.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you today.
We'll have
Nicola.
Yeah, Nicola. We will have full space to introduce Felicia in a few minutes, and to let her experiment with fully, but I'm going to go on. And
yes, so maybe I already started a bit. Really, the purpose of these workshops that have been going on for a year is really to make reflection and reflexive practice simple, easy, practical, understandable to everyone. And we know that it is a key for us to develop, to grow, to get better, and to keep on learning, because it's a learning journey. All our life is a learning journey, and we need those reflection and reflexivity spaces to progress. Really, the idea for us is to create a safe space to work together, to learn. And it's really for everybody. It can be whether because you want to practice, or because you're taking on your accreditation and you want to make the most of that time and learn new processes. So the idea is that we all learn together.
Yeah. And we won't explain in details what reflection and reflexivity is in details, because we really shared that a lot all throughout 2024. So for those of you who would like more details about what we are speaking about as a background, Nicola is going to share with you in the chat 2 links. One that is EMCC Global Policy and Practice Guide about reflexivity and reflection, and another one Thank you, Nicola, which will bring you to EMCC Global webpage, where you can see all the recordings. And throughout 2024, the first part of the recordings speaks about that. What is reflection? What is reflexivity? So please do not hesitate to go to these links and listen to that so that you can have the same background. So what's in it for you in these webinars, in these reflective and reflexive practice sessions? As we said, the main idea is to consider this as a continuous development process. So we propose you webinars to practice. It's a real experiential format, bi-monthly, that we co-created with Anne in partnership for EMCC Global. And we successively propose you alternative reflective and reflexive sessions with long established and robust models. We had, for example, Gibbs, Forbes, and others. And with special guests as Felicia in 2024, we had, for example, Karen Prentice and Elaine Patterson, Claire Bucket, among others. So that's the format. Back to 2024, just a reminder. And Anne, maybe you can speak about
Yes, we start.
Yes,
it's behind. So today we've got the pleasure to have Felicia with us, and she'll introduce herself in a moment. And what we are planning to do, actually, it's in March. We'll work with the 7-9 model, which is a very famous and robust model, as Catherine said. But it's always good to review it. And then we'll have 2 guests, the one after the other. And maybe, Catherine, you want to talk about them?
Wendy Ann Smith, which is really well known all around the world. And her main contribution nowadays is about ethics. She founded and created the Coaching Ethics Forum, which is high level and very precious contribution to the profession. And Wendy Ann will bring us a reflections and a reflexivity approach, considering ethics mainly, which will be very interesting. So this will be in May, and in June we'll have the pleasure to have Ian McCormick with Schema coaching and different contributions. And Ian is a very precious contributor as well for reflection and reflexivity, and he will be with us in June to experiment with us with a specific approach from him. So this is our program for the first semester. You'll find information and all the links to register on EMCC Global page as usual.
And the previous webinars as well, if you're interested to watch some that you haven't been to.
Great, so
let's practice.
So let's experiment now. So, Anna, I'll let you introduce Felicia, maybe.
Oh, I'm sure she can do it better than me, but I'm really delighted, not only because we also belong to 2 similar communities. We belong to the CSA community, where we both run programs. For you, Felicia, I think it's in Greater China and also in Japan. So well done for that. For
Asia Pacific, not Japan is with my colleagues Satoko.
Okay, so well done for spreading supervision, which is a reflexivity and reflection space in the world and in Asia especially. And also we belong to the Leadership Embodiment community. And thank you for coming and presenting and introducing everybody to that wonderful space. And I leave you to introduce you.
Oh, thank you, Anne. You've done a lot more introduction than I would do for myself. All I need to say to you is I'm from Singapore, and today I do come with you with additional gift, which is a cold from China. So please bear with me with my nasal sound. But I'm totally delighted to be here with you. And thank you to Catherine, Anne, and Nicola for organizing such a wonderful series of webinars. I've watched all the others prior to me for my CPD as well as for my own learning as well. So thank you very much. Today I'm here just to let you know that I've been hanging around the EMCC community for a while now. I think I first got my ESIA in 2019 when they first started, and then went on to volunteer and work with a fantastic group of people at the Centre for Excellence for Supervision. And if you notice that the word is for Centre for Excellence, so we are not excellent in supervisors, but we're always looking out for keeping ourselves relevant, keeping ourselves, humane, because we believe that's what supervision is all about. And like Anne was saying, I've been working in the Asia Pacific region for supervision, and I've been advocating for it since 2016. So you can count the number of years I've been going around, reflecting myself and also encouraging others to reflect and reflex. So again, my pure delight in being here with you my afternoon in Asia Pacific. And I saw a few of my friends from the Asia Pacific time zone. Thank you very much. I'd like to just shout out to all of you, and some of my European friends are also here. So thank you all for always hanging out and supporting whenever I show up on these scenes. I truly appreciate it. So without further ado, I'm just gonna not talk about me, and let's talk about why we're here together. And the intention of this webinar, or this time together today, is really to embrace and leverage our body wisdom in our reflection, because I believe there's a lot of models, great publications, academic stuff out there. However, what we often do less with is our body, this body that's always here with us. So my invitation for you, since you've signed up for this session, is to come along with me today and just, get reacquainted and come home to our own body again today, at least for the next 90 minutes or so, and explore the wisdom through some somatic experiment. So if you're wondering, I see some of the Dutch colleagues making captions and trying to figure out my English. Thank you very much to Zoom for providing such facilities. And please stop me at any time if I'm not clear to you, or you need me to repeat something else. You can obviously communicate with me on the chat. I may or may not catch it, but I might catch it later. And I believe you have the ability to unmute yourself and come and interact with us in these sessions. So please feel free to do that. Do not feel shy to say, you interrupt me. I'm quite happy to embrace all of your voices and all of your presence in this session. This session is ours, not mine only. So let me say that. So the other thing is we would access the wisdom through the year framework. The year framework is something that since I've been, like Anne said, I've been working with LE since long before 2018, before I was certified. But, through my own different bodies of work that I've come across over the last 10, 20 years, I've come with a simple framework of what I call the year, and I'll bring that to you as well today in this webinar. And then let's practice, right? I don't believe in talking a lot. I believe in practicing a lot. So I often, when I'm teaching, or when I'm sharing the supervision, classes, or when I'm actually holding supervision classes in Asia, they often say, hey, how do you do this? What books do you read? I often say, let's practice. So that's what I would invite us all to do, and then and hopefully and see if some reflexivity appears today for you. So I'm not going to say this is definitely what we'll be experimenting, but it might appear. So let's keep our curiosity and look out for those moments as well. So thank you, Catherine. Can we move to the next one? So this is the bit where I get to hear your lovely voices, or your input. How are you assessing the wisdom of your body now? I'm sure you have lots of your own practices as well. Love to learn from you. What are they? And so our hypothesis today is that it is helpful to take the position of a wise observer during reflection or moments of reflexivity. And when I said to Samantha, there is no beginner, because this wise observer has always been with us. Whether we, are attuned to it, or we have, kind of masked the voice and shut it down. So it's really when assessing the wisdom of the body, it's like what Florian say, we almost need to have a beginner's mind or have a childlike mind to get curious about nuanced feedback from the body, how the body is feeling, and what sensations and images comes to our head. So all these are actually signals and data that's coming from the external system into this body system of ours. And there's another hypothesis that based on this, this work is based on, which is we access our wise observer or internal supervisor when we are centered in engaging our three brains. The three brains being our cognitive brain that, is very well developed and utilized and continue to be developed. And then our heart brain, where we have, also a lot of ability to receive, and in fact, to also reflect and ripple out the impact of our wisdom. And our gut brain, which is where we feel, where it's closer to our center, and it's a place where we feel safe and where we are steady. So those are the three areas of the cognitive, the heart, and the gut brain. So please move on, Catherine. And why we work with the embodiment work, like Anne was saying, and please, I need to shout out to all our friends in Europe. Anouk, a dear friend, a dear colleague of ours in Netherlands, is running a series of LE classes and also teachers training this year. Please go to Anne or Anouk for more information about the leadership embodiment work. So I just want to shout out for them here. But why we work with embodiment is that for me, this is a practice that is quick and simple. It transfers, different languages. I was just in China last week, running a CPD day on embodiment work. And, it just cuts across language, it cuts across diversity. And what I love is that it's inclusive. Somehow everybody feels like, hey, we're part of the village, we're part of the community. We might look different, we might not even be able to understand each other with the language we use. It doesn't matter, because once we practice with the body, it feels like we are one human race. So that's what I love about this work. And with frequent practice, what I'm finding, and also of my fellow colleagues, is that the muscles that we're practicing has a muscle memory that they're able to return to center, and this can be entrained. I was asked by somebody last week when I was in China to say that, hey, how do you've been running classes full day for many days, and how do you find your energy back when after class? Do you lose energy because there's so much different energies going on in the classroom? And I said, actually with over the years, as I practice embodiment, I find that my body knows how to tune back in itself. Of course, I do need to rest. I'm still human. But when I'm actually practicing, my body learns to reflect in the moment. And when I feel something is off, my body feels it first before it comes here. So that's with frequent practice, that's what I'm finding. The muscle is able to help yourself come back to center if we practice frequently enough, so that it's almost a reflex that we come back. So that's why we work with embodiment. So Catherine, next slide, please. Again, I cannot talk about leadership embodiment without bringing Wendy here, my dear teacher. I've been training with Wendy ever since she was working with people in Asia. So I must say, long and short, I've probably been working with her for 7, 8 years. Unfortunately, she passed 2 years ago and she became stardust. So she's all around us now. But her work was first, founded in 1980, Conscious Embodiment. Then she renamed it to be Leadership Embodiment in 2012, because in this way that she can reach out to more people in the corporates, more people in the general public, where she can, use this body of work to help people center and really be a better version of ourselves, really. And this body of work focuses on repatterning practices with support and inspiration from the outside. So what we believe is that the inspiration, it comes from the outside, comes from the space, and we're tapping into, the bigger collective wisdom that's out there. So I was hearing someone say, how can I do this in a group? How can I do this in team coaching, supervision, or team coaching when I'm leading a big group of people? Actually, when everybody is kind of tapped into the same frequency, then we're tapping into the same outer, a bigger wisdom collectively as a group. And each of us within the group begin to pick up different things. But, that's a totally different seminar from today, but I just want to drop some interest there. And Ellie has roots in mindfulness, so that's why, it's been, when you said, a lot of you said, well, I do mindfulness, that's great. It also is backed by neuroscience, where we talk about the body chemicals reaction, our body muscles reactions, and Aikido, whom she is a grandmaster of, which is a kind of non-violent martial art, which I love. This is from Japan. So I've been certified as an LE coach since 2018 and been learning and still learning to this day. So that's a little bit about LE. So next slide, please. So enough about talk. I think I promised you I think that's about the last slides I have in terms of concepts. This is just to give you a bit of background and underpinnings of what we're doing together today. So my first invitation for us all right now is to do an experiment. I have a couple of experiments that I brought with me today. Now, before I even talk about the experiments, I need to ask if any one of you have bad back aches and stuff like that. Please be very gentle with yourself. When you're doing these exercises, don't overstrain yourself, because we will be using our shoulder muscles and arm muscles. But if you have back issues, please be gentle. You don't need to exert a lot, but you'll be able to feel the difference, okay? So the very first experiment is working with our flexors and our extenders, right? And I talk about the wisdom of the body. So what I'd like you to do is that if you can all hold up your fist like me, yeah, and then you, with all our might, concentrate on squeezing our fists together. Just let go a little bit. Can you tell me, how does your body feel? Well, some of you have more relaxed in the upper back. I'm glad. If this exercise works for you in a beneficial way, please continue to do. But if you really tighten up, what else? I had a nervous here. The body feels hard. Thank you. Tense. May I ask, thank you, Els. May I ask someone else, when you feel tense or, where do you feel it? Tense jaw. Thank you, Kathy. We are firing up all our stressor muscles in the body. So when we are stressed, this is a way of mimicking or introducing a small level of stress into our body. So can you imagine if we are faced with something stressful, a stressful event in, let's say, our body, this is how it tenses up. The flexor, the stressor muscles all gets activated. Okay. Yes, the relaxation comes in the release. Thank you, Tech. So there is that tension, and what is happening is that, when we know how to relax, the body does come back. But when we are under stress, actually our body, our stressor muscles are often activated, and it stays that way. So how many of you, after a long day, feel aches around the shoulders, the neck? I know I do, if I'm not careful or I forgot. Even in the face, somebody says. Definitely, Heike, thank you. I do. Thank you, Marieke. Yeah. So that was the stressor muscles that, we are introduced. I'm just slowly using experiments to wake up our body. So, you're now more aware of what's going on in your body when you're under stress or when your stressor muscles are being activated. So now let's do something nicer to the body, which is, again, hold your arms like that, not tightly, but as you breathe in, gently let down your hand and let it drop on the side. Let's try that again. So I'm going to stand further a bit so I don't budge into my PC. So as I extend, stretch out, and just heave a sigh of relief as you allow your hands to drop down to the side of the body. Let's try that one more time. Now, notice how does your body feel? Carlos, peace. Release that negative energy. I saw, oops, calm, tingly. Yeah. So actually, we do not know how much stress our body is carrying every day. So just beginning to reacquaint with our body, just look after our body. Oops. Okay. Now let's move on to the second experiment. So for this experiment, the very first thing I'd like you to do is, you might already be sitting in a very nice position. I'd like you to find a position that is slightly slouchy. Cross your arms. Cross your arms, cross your feet, looking down. And think of a recent incident, not too, a slight nuisance or something slightly irritable, nothing too big. So if it's 10, it's like catastrophic. Think about 4 to 5, something slightly irritating, an incident, or somebody said something to you, or you met with an event. Just think about that in this position for a bit. So I'm going to ask us to hold this position and think about this for the next 10 seconds. Right, please come back up. Tell me what's going on with your body. Sluggish, felt tense, heavy and weighty, negativity feelings. Thank you. Feels quite stuck. Yeah. Frozen, closed, neck pain. Oh, I'm sorry. I did that to you. I introduced an activity that caused neck pain. No energy, negative and small, lazy, let it go, tense in the stomach. Right. I will share what's going on for me. I was thinking of something slightly irritable, and I got more irritated as my 10 seconds passed. So I had to stop the exercise. So you see, our body posture impacts the way we feel and how our body feels about this, an incident. So now what I'd like you to do is have your feet on the ground. We're going to move into a different posture right now. Have your feet on the ground. If you're sitting, move away slightly from the back of your chair if your back allows you, so that your back naturally supports your body. So I'm going to give a bit more introduction of the breath, and then we can do it together. So for some of you who are already doing your own breath work, please feel free to do it as you wish. You don't have to follow my instructions. It's just a different way of doing it. So when we breathe, and as we breathe in, we would imagine the energy coming from the bottom of our feet through the back of the body, to the neck, to the back of the neck, top of the crown, and as if there's a string pulling us taller and straighter. So that's a breath in. And as we breathe out, the breath comes down the front of the body, the nose, the throat, the heart, the gut, knees, and back down to the feet. So in, lengthening and straightening, out, relaxing, and back down to the feet. So got it? So let's try that together. So taking a breath in together. Imagine the energy coming through the bottom of the feet, back of the body, up to the back of the spine, as if there's a line pulling us slightly taller and straighter. And as we breathe out, coming down the front of the body, back down to the feet. So on the next breath in, taking a deep breath in. Taller and straighter. As we breathe out, and this time as you come towards the heart area, I'd like you to pause a little bit and think of someone or something that makes you smile. Could be a cartoon, could be a pet, could be a child. And for some of you that I could see on screen that's not smiling, you probably got the wrong person. And letting that come down to the bottom of your feet. Lovely, lovely. So now I'd like you to think about the same, incident that I asked you to bring to your mind just now. Tell me what are you feeling in your body? What is your experience right now? I practice yoga, and this, Sujatha, yes, this could be what you do already. So just the ability to allow the body to respond versus the head to respond, so allowing our head, our heart, and our gut to respond in harmony and in alignment. And this is we are only just beginning to awake. This is only experiment 2 in this 90 minutes of awakening the body. Yeah, this reminds me to return to actual yoga class. Please do. Any form of body work, muscles work, it's going to be helpful for the body, because we spend so much time in front of this little screen here. Okay, so Thank you. Anyone else want to share? What do you notice about the difference between, 1 and 2? Closed versus open. I'm going to share a little bit about the LE background of, and Wendy often says, when we're stressed or we're not at our best, we are in a personality mode. And we don't stay in center mode all the time. In fact, we can't, because our body is built to be, always vigilant. Because of the amygdala, the way our brain is structured, we're always scanning to see if there's any potential danger. It was the tiger back then, but now it could be an email. So the brain does not know the severity or, the actual, what is real danger, but the brain just say danger. So it's always scanning for things like that. And when we're scanning, our head, what the head wants to do is actually to control, is to say, I want to be able to, control the situation. Or the heart could be saying, hey, I really hope that all the participants on this session would love this session. That's me in my personality. I really hope that this is a good session for everybody. And then my gut will say, okay, I hope I don't feel, I don't do something silly on this session. And I'll start to orientate all my actions and the way I speak and the way I answer and do my work around these 3 centers, which is control, approval, and safety. However, if I take a breath, think of someone that makes me smile, go back to center, I begin to see that, oh, okay, there's a lot more stuff going on in this room. There's so many things going on in this room. That gives me perception, and when we're working in a team or doing team coaching, work or supervision, the ability to pick up more data, more information is also there for us. So, in terms of perception, it gets wider from a head perspective. And from a heart perspective, we get more compassionate about what we're seeing. Some irritant or something that's not going our way could have a very, very human reason behind it. And could be, a really, the best thing for us to do is to show compassion and get connected to what's really going on at the heart level. So that's the heart. And the gut is where we get, we get confident. We no longer worry about how we look. In fact, this body doesn't matter. Who this person is standing here doesn't matter, because it's about the intention of the work. It's the intention of the session. We are to be with each other. What am I here for the intention of this session? So how this body appears, what is saying, what is not doing, does not matter. When we come back to center. Priyanka, can compassion also come from the head? I'm curious about that too. I think many people start practice from the head before feeling in the heart. Well, I think, there are many windows into compassion. And some of us learn different ways. So I'm just reading from the chat. So if you need to imagine and then you can feel it, feel free to do so. But from a LE perspective, we swing between personality to center very often. In fact, split of a second, we're back in personality, because that's our habitual way. So before someone, if someone come and say, hey, Felicia, how can I stay center for a long, long time? I say, you can't. Don't take my word for it. You try it out. But I find myself, shifting back into personality ever in a split second. But my work has been noticing, the body notices when I shift back to personality. And then I go, oh, okay, I'm feeling a bit small now. In personality, right, now let's center, come back and breathe and come back into center so that I can do my work. So as a coach, as a supervisor, when we work with people in teams, especially when you're holding a group of people, the more you need to, learn to come back to center more often than not. And allowing our body to help us will help a lot, because a lot of times when we're off center is because our cognitive is overreacting. It is going on overdrive, yeah, or that we're needing approval, something like that. So only if you stop thinking about it, stop trying to use cognitive to try and change the situation, take a breath. Some of you are doing yoga, take a breath, allow yourself to pause, and then you can come back. What do I mean by personality? Thank you. Personality means that when we reference, for example, the head, when our head goes into control, I want to control everything. I become quite small and tight. That's my personality. That's my ego playing out, right? And my heart is like, oh, I need approval from everybody or people that are important to me. I'm also, again, acting small. And I'm referencing outwardly to people rather than referencing it to my center. And my gut, I'm needing safety. So I'm looking for everywhere else for safety, except for looking inwards. Safety is already here. Why do I look outside? So as we breathe, we feel, there's a lot more than I can say in this 90 minutes. But when we feel supported, then we know that we are safe and we can work from a place of centeredness.
Compassion.
Anne, are you seeing anything? I think I missed a lot of messages, so I'm not seeing.
Well,
anything?
Yes, if I may just add something, because I think it helps. Is personality references security. It's really about managing people, concepts, and things. When center references interconnectedness, which is really big picture thinking, intuition, flow. So it's really how we swing, as you said, Felicia, from one place to the other all the time, and how much awareness we have of moving from one space to the other. And if I may just quote what Wendy was saying, is that, and especially for us as coaches and supervisors accompanying others, I quote her, the best gift you can give someone is to get yourself together. And that's what centering is about, offering the best part of us.
Indeed, yes. I think Margaret has her hands up.
Yes, thank you, Felicia. For me, the area of personality is the area of the I know mind. I think I know. And the center part for me is the area of not knowing, of the beginner's mind each moment. That's for me a very helpful distinction. Yeah.
I love that. Thank you, Marguerite. Yes. In center, we often, we are just in the moment. And that's the place of mindfulness as well, Marguerite. I know you practice that, where we're just being in the moment and being with whatever that's there, that's here.
Could we say that the land of personalities, the land of automatism, ego, defense system, and maybe center being open to bigger than us and centered really towards our being.
I love that. And, please feel free to interpret this the way that makes sense for you. Right. And personality is habitual, is built-in reflexes, like what you said. So, the three things is that when we are referencing to the head, the heart, and gut, and when we're referencing to being in need of control, being in need of approval, being in need of safety, then we're probably, working from a personality stance. Yeah. Okay, so let's move on. I love that all of you are trying to attune to what it means for you to be in personality and what it means for you to be in center. So the year framework is something that I've come up with, and I use this when I work with individually with people, or I work with teams or groups of people. And the year stands for easing the mind, attending to the heart, and relaxing the belly, as you can see from what I've just shown you in terms of personality to center. What this is piece of body work and breath work does is that it's not only to shift the individual from personality to center, but it's also collectively shifting everyone else into center in the vicinity of that work. So here what I'll be doing is that I'll have a set of instructions for breakout where you can practice with each other in threes. So, but before that, I will please invite Anne to come along with me as my beautiful partner.
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you, Anne. And what I'll be doing with you is, hold on, let me get the instructions on my screen. Okay. So you'll be working in threes, but Anne and I, all of you will be our observers. So I'll be the coach, Anne will be my coachee. So I'd like you, Anne, now to think about recently a slightly challenging client situation. Not the biggest problem issue you have right now, but slightly challenging client situation. So on a scale of 10, maybe at about 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Do I need to say something about it, or no?
You to tell me the content, but I'd like you to just notice how your body is feeling right now.
My heart is getting really smaller. I can feel my heart going like this. And well, I'm standing, but I think I need to sit because my legs are really wobbly.
Yeah.
And I see my head going down. Like if it's heavy. I'm laughing, but I'm not laughing inside.
I get that. I'm feeling quite heavy, actually.
Yeah. And I want to close my eyes. And I feel I'm reducing myself now. I'm getting smaller. Yeah.
So thank you, Anne, for doing that experiment with me. I'd like you now to just take a couple of breaths. Take a few deep breaths. Just bring your attention to how the breath is arriving into the body. And leaving the body. Tell me how your body is feeling right now. What are you noticing about your body?
I can see further. I'm not like this anymore. I'm straight, and I feel more stable. I feel more present as well.
All right. So yeah, just pausing that. And for all of you who's observing, what I've just did is step 1, easing the mind. Just a few deep breaths, drawing the attention to movements of the breath in the body. That eases the mind. It's from mindfulness. So step 2, I'm gonna invite us now both to attend to our heart and relaxing our body, our belly together, if that's okay.
Yes.
So you know Ellie, but I'll still give instructions so people know. So taking a deep breath in, coming through the bottom of the feet, lengthening, straightening, breathing out, allowing the breath to come back down the front of the body into the ground. And please breathe naturally as your body wants to. And on your next deep breath in and out, let us both think of someone that makes us smile. And in the next few breaths, we're just going to work with our energy bubble. So as we take a deep breath in and out, see how big your energy bubble is today, and to the left, to the right, to the front and to the back, bottom of the feet, top of the head. It's like a balloon, you know, around us. How big is it today naturally? And see if you can, with each breath, slowly expanding it to the left, to the right, to the front, to the back. Bottom of the feet, over the head, and see if you can stretch to the four corners of your room. And if you're ready, just let me know, but you don't have to rush. Just take your time.
Yes, I feel ready.
Thank you, Anne.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'd like you to think about the challenging situation. How does your body feel right now?
Well, definitely more relaxed. And I feel I've got enough distance to see other options, actually.
Any new insights or pictures that's arising for you?
Yes. And even a desire to come back to that person in a different way. When before I wouldn't. I feel I want to connect now, and I want to question and open the space.
Yeah, and I notice you laugh again. Do you notice the quality of this laugh now?
Yeah, there's definitely a lightness and curiosity. My inner child is very present.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anne. And that is what you do with each other in the breakout.
Oops.
Questions.
Frozen. Oh, you were frozen, Felicia. You were frozen for a while.
Sorry. I'm saying that we will now put you into breakout rooms for 30 minutes. We do have time, I believe. And I'd like you to, you saw what Anne and I did. It didn't take that long. But what we like you to do is to give you enough time, 10 minutes for each person to bring a case and to experience the body change and to see if there's any new insights. And for the observer is to just notice body posture, facial expressions, how you feel before and after. And I love to hear your discoveries when you come back. Let me just reiterate. So when you get into the room, please decide introduce yourself, of course, please don't forget to do that. Then decide who would go first as a coach, coachee, and then the observer, and you take turns. And so we often ask people to think about a slightly challenging situation, but please remember, don't go for the hardest one. Go for something medium, Yeah. And then do a kind of a benchmark to say, okay, before you start, as you think about this situation, like I did with Anne, how do you feel? Very quickly, not too long. And then you do step one, which is take a few breaths and start to think about, just take a few breaths and notice what's already happening with that couple of breaths. And then the second step is to go into the connecting the heart and the belly, which is, think of someone that makes you smile, and then expanding your energy bubble or balloon around you, including everyone in the room with you, and then see what happens. So if you need extra help, we are out here. Yeah. So let us know.
And we suggest that you take a screenshot of what is shown now so that you can keep the instructions with you.
What did you notice?
Yeah, thank you, Felicia, and thank you all for all your inputs in this great session. We've put in the chat more resources that I show here on the screen, but you have the links in the chat. So please feel free to use them, keep them preciously to go further with this approach. And thank you, Felicia. I think this can nurture us and enrich us at this beginning of 2025 with all clients as well, individually, collectively, or even for organization coaching. This can be so precious to use body for reflection and insights. Yeah, indeed, and learnings.